Hi girls, let's just take a look at this one then. So this is where we move on now to taking a look at naming. So here's a large structure, it's been drawn out for us and we've been asked to name it. Okay, so the first thing I do is check, is the carbon and hydrogen mainly? Yes. Are they all single bonds? Yes. So my family name is going to be ANE. I'm going to end in ANE because I'm an alkane. Okay, so the next thing I do is I go in and take a look and see what the longest straight line of carbons is that I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the longest straight line I've got. 6 carbons in a row, and this is what I'd asked you to learn. That means its surname is hexane. It's not regular hexane, because if it was regular hexane, this wouldn't be there, this wouldn't be there, and this wouldn't be there. They'd be hydrogens. So I want to tell the reader now that the structure that we're looking at has something in it that makes it slightly different to hexane, but it has some similarities to hexane too. So the similarity to hexane is that it has 6 carbons in a row, and that is where the hexane comes from. And now I want to tell them that there's something unusual about this situation. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is number my line of carbons. Okay, so I have choices. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from left to right, or I can do it the other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from right to left. So I have to decide which one I'm going to do. There's a rule for it, and it says that the biggest group that you have in terms of molecular weight, so in terms of if you were to add them up based on the periodic table, their mass, which one is the biggest? So that's CH3, that's CH3, they're the same. And then there's C2H5. So which is bigger, C2H5 or CH3? This one's bigger. So this subgroup is going to dictate whether I number them from left to right or right to left. I want that one to have the smallest number it can possibly have. So if I go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll be at carbon number 4. And if I go this way, it'll be 1, 2, 3. So it is smaller to go from right to left. So I'm going to go right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I've numbered them now, so I can tell the reader that there are unusual things at particular carbons. Okay. I'm going to do the big group first, so the one that is unusual and the biggest of them. So that's at carbon number 3, so I write down 3 because the group is at 3. Now I need to know what C2H5 is. So if you remember back from what you were learning the previous night, you know that ethane is C2H6. 2 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hydrogens. This is, C2H5 is exactly the same except it's missing a hydrogen. So it's related to this, and it's what we call an alkyl group. So any group from your alkanes that are missing one hydrogen, and they have to be just missing one, are known as alkyls. So instead of it being ethane, the group family name is now yl, which is ETHYL. So the family name has changed to YL to tell me that it is ethane, but it's missing a hydrogen. So that's telling me here that at carbon number 3, I have an ethyl group. So that is 2 carbons and 5 hydrogens, or an ethane missing a hydrogen. So 3 ethyl. And then I want to tell them that these ones are here. So again, I'm looking at CH3 and I'm thinking, what does that remind me of? And it should remind you of methane. Okay, but it's missing one hydrogen. So methane is CH4. So this one is going to be methyl. And again, same family name because we're missing one hydrogen. So I want to tell this person or whoever is asking me to name that at carbon number 2 and at carbon number 5, I have 2. So 2 is di, 3 would be tri, and that's as far as you'd probably have to go. Dimethyl hexane. So my compound's name is 3-ethyl 2,5-dimethyl hexane. Quite a mouthful. And if you want to sound like a genius, it really does help if you start going around saying, well, I was learning today on the video about 3-ethyl 2,5-dimethyl hexane. A genius or a crazy person, I don't know which, but either way, this naming is a convention, and once you get used to it, I know this first one you're like, oh my god, because everybody does be the same, but once you get used to it, it's actually quite simple. Okay, So for example, if I was to take, let me see, C, 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 and I was to go, and then surround the rest. And these gaps now are hydrogens, but I start to get a bit lazy, so I'm not going to write the hydrogens in for you, but you put hydrogens here as you go along, okay? So again, I can see that they're all carbons, that they're all hydrogens, and that they're all single bonds. So my surname is ANE, I'm an alkane. The next thing I do is I try to find the longest straight chain I've got, which is 4, and 4 has a surname of butane. The next thing I decide to do is I decide to number them. It's either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that means that most of my side groups are on carbon 2 rather than having them on carbon 3. So I want them to have the lowest possible number they can have. I want to tell the person then that this is not regular butane, but something weird has happened at carbon 2 and 3. And it happened twice at carbon 2. So there should have been 2 hydrogens, and instead of 2 hydrogens, there's 2 CH3. So it's 2, 2. And at carbon 3, I've put CH3s on. So what are CH3s? So CH3s are methanes that are missing 1 hydrogen. So they're methyls. And that's its name. 2, 2, 3. And I want to tell them that there's 3 of them. Trimethyl butane. So 2, 2, 3. Trimethyl butane. Sometimes they won't be as kind to you, and when we start to take a look in your textbook, they won't be as kind to you as to draw it out for you to begin with. They'll give it to you and ask you to originally draw it out. So you can hear me flicking. It's because I'm trying to find the page with the questions on it, and I was not, as per usual, open on the right page at the right time. But I mean, you know me well enough to know that I've never really been that organised in real life. So can you imagine how hard I'm finding it at this point? Okay, so we'd have CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH3. Okay, so the question now would say draw a name. So it's not drawn out very nicely for me. They've put a load of work in and they've written it all out, but I need to rewrite that so that it looks like what's up here. So it makes it easier for me to name it. So C with 3 hydrogens around it. Okay, so that's okay. C with 2 hydrogens around it. That's okay. C with a hydrogen around it. And then this bracket, which is CH3 off it. And then a C with 3 hydrogens around it. Okay. And again, you have to write those hydrogens in. So years ago, I forgot to tell students that, and mock papers came back and they'd lost a whole load of marks because they were being as lazy as me. You write the hydrogens in as you go round. Once I tell you that, then that's up to you to remember that, and I'll keep marking you wrong and you'll figure it fairly soon. Okay. So I'm trying to name this now. So again, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's bute. ANE. How do I know it's ANE? They're all single bonds, and it's the only one you know at the moment, so you're safe to go with ANE for all of them. I'm either going to number it 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because the group that's unusual, I wanted to have the lowest possible number. So that's why I've done that. I want to tell the person that something's wrong at 2. And what's wrong at 2 is I've put a methyl group there. 2 methyl butane. Okay. You kind of have to try a few and see how you go. There's a couple examples in the book as well, but I'm going to ask you to try page 383, question 21.1 and 21.2. And there's further examples in your book. So he has done different examples to the examples that I did. So I did different ones to him on page 347 and 349. So again, and he's written out the name convention, he's written the rules down for you. I would always just use the book. I don't give you notes on this. This is something you just learn to do after a period of time. So I'm going to ask you to try these 2 questions and then we'll see where we go. We'll pick the ones that are wrong. And once we've picked out the ones that are wrong, then we'll be able to fix those problems, whatever the issues that may be that you're having. All right. Best of luck, and I'll talk to you soon.